Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amira Afita binti Yaakob. Today my group and I will present about Malaysia as a hub for halal industry and tourism in Malaysia. Moving on to the introduction. So the halal industry is growing fast across the world as there is a huge shortage of halal products in the market. With the steady increase in global Muslim population, the demand for halal products continues to grow. As a progressive Muslim country with consistent economic development and growth as well as political and social stability, Malaysia is the leader in the world halal industry. Next, the development of halal industry in Malaysia. So the first one in halal industry, the success of Malaysia as the pioneer in the halal industry began in 1974 when the Research Centre for the Islamic Affairs Division in the Prime Minister Office started to issue halal certification letters for products that met the halal criteria at that time. So the first halal standard released in 2000 was an important milestone for Malaysia as it became the first country to have a documented and systematic halal assurance system. So the standards became the impetus to a new revolution that had transformed halal from strength to strength, from a traditional cottage industry to a vibrant new economy. And next is Master Plan 2008 to 2020. Master Plan 2008-2020 is a comprehensive halal standard that was initiated by the Malaysian government, and the standard provides practical guidelines for the food industry on the preparation and handling of halal food. This standard sets the ground rules for food products and food businesses in Malaysia. It is used by the Department of Islamic Development, JAKIM, the only halal authority in Malaysia, as the basis for halal certification process. And lastly is the Master Plan 2030. The Halal Industry Master Plan 2030 was developed to catalyze Malaysia's strengths toward the development of its halal industry holistically. The theme, prominent, visible and globalized halal Malaysia, depicts Malaysia's goal to achieve socio-economic development through leading the global halal industry. The Master Plan 2030 brings together an analysis of the halal industry, trends and projections, both global as well as in Malaysia, assesses the industry development based on focus sectors. So this master plan line up developmental framework for Malaysia halal industry and highlight opportunities for Malaysia socio-economic growth in order to maximize potential economic return over the next decade and beyond. Okay, now moving on to the regulators for the halal industry in Malaysia. Within the Malaysian halal industry, the following are the key stakeholders within the Malaysian halal supply chain, and they are responsible for maintaining halal integrity, facilitate the growth of the industry, and also monitor the implementation of halal practices by producer. The first one is Halal Industry Development Corporation, HDC. HDC was developed with the specific objective of acting as Malaysia one-stop center for the coordination of halal industry. Today, HDC is the dedicated government agency for all halal industry related matters and is the key driving force in ensuring the success of the halal agenda in line with the government long-term economic transformation policies. So HDC spearheads the development of the strategic Halal initiative, which are outlined in the Halal Industry Master Plan 2008 to 2020 to ensure that the halal industry develop progressively within an integrated and comprehensive manner. Next is Department of Islamic Development Malaysia, which as we know is JAKIM. So JAKIM is an agency under the Prime Minister Department that manages the Halal Hub Division and is the sole authority given the mandate to issue the Malaysia Halal certification. JAKIM is responsible in ensuring that all Malaysia Halal certified products and premises comply with the Islamic principles and guidelines stipulated within the Malaysia Halal certification. So JAKIM functions cover the enforcement of Malaysia Halal Certification Guideline and Trade Description Act 2011 Halal, along with the recognition of other halal certification bodies around the world. And the third one is the Department of Standard Malaysia, JSM. JSM plays an important role in assisting the development of the Malaysian halal industry by developing the Malaysia Standard MS for both halal food and non-food products. Standard Malaysia also promotes halal industry leaders within its global awareness of the Malaysia Halal Standard. And lastly is the Ministry of Domestic Trade, Cooperative and Consumerism, MDTCC. So MDTCC is responsible for the monitoring and enforcement of programs that ensure the preservation of halal integrity within the scope of the Malaysia Halal certification. MDTCC and JAKIM had established a special committee between them as a way to address issues concerning the domestic use of the Malaysia Halal logo with effect from January 2012 in accordance to the revised Trade Description Act 2011. Only the Malaysia Halal logo is accepted and recognized for use in the country. MDTCC with the cooperation of JAKIM and MAIN consistently conduct random inspection to ensure the authenticity of the halal standard and logo use. And also MDTCC encourage the public to lodge a report of false or misleading halal certification and logo use for immediate actions. Under the control of Slaughter Rules 1975, all meat and livestock products imported in country must be halal certified and that the product must originate from slaughterhouses that have been inspected and approved by both the Department of Veterinary, DBS, as well as JAKIM. That's all from me, and I will pass to Zaid.
I'm Muhammad Zaid bin Zainul Abidin, matric number 1816703. Today, I want to explain about the available halal industry in Malaysia, which cover the halal product and halal service. As we know, the halal product in Malaysia that contain food and good marketed in Malaysia shall not be described as halal unless the food and goods comply with the requirement or certified as halal by certification body recognized by JAKIM. And then for the halal service, Muslim can use this service that is in accordance with Shariah law, which is the service is not is correct and they follow the Shariah law, which is not cross the what Islam said. So we move to the type of product and services that they require for the halal, which is for the first one is food and beverage, which is food and beverage must have not alcohol provided in the ingredient of the food, and this is to make sure for the food that prepare to the Muslim is is applicable to and is lower to eat without the thing more, which is halal or haram. So next is the hotel and accommodation, which is for the hotel and accommodation, they really must follow the guideline that provided by JAKIM, which is the hotel and accommodation must follow the direction sign of Qibla of their design, which is they can follow the regulation by JAKIM, and they must also provide not provide alcohol in the hotel, which is not provide alcohol to the Muslim actually. And then the halal hotel or halal accommodation or room must have the segregation, which is for their swimming pool, their room, also their gymnasium, which is they must separate between men and female. So move to the next slide, which is consumer goods. Consumer goods must be free from halal ingredient, which is the industry of consumer goods. If they want to sell their product to the Muslim, they must have the halal logo from JAKIM, so they should apply it. And for the cosmetic also, they have a halal personal care product that's suitable for the Muslim use. For it is easier for Muslim to choose the halal cosmetic product by when they want to buy the cosmetic. And about we go to the pharmaceutical industry, which is every ingredient must be traceable, which is we know what they put in ingredient without put the haram or non-halal ingredient. And it is must avoid ingredient from pig, alcohol, blood, human, and part of insect. And then we move to the logistic, which is all halal logistic service must be certified by JAKIM, and it also applied for a halal logistic standard that covers transportation, warehouse, and retailing. Then we move to the applicable law, regulation, and Malaysian standard for halal industries in Malaysia. So for the first one that I state here is the Custom Order 1988, which is require all meat and livestock imported into Malaysia to be halal. So from this they will make a filter wherever the meat that imported in Malaysia that they want to sell to Muslim, it should be halal. And the next one is Animal Importation Order, which is in 1962, and this is a requirement that all meat and livestock must be halal, safe, and disease free. This is to protect Muslim from the product that will harm them. And then this product, this law and regulation is slightly similar with custom order. And next we go to the food regulation in 1985, which is this regulation is 11(1)(c), provide that where the food contain beef or pork, it is derivative or like a statement, it is presents in food should be written on the label, so it is easier for the Muslim to check whether the product is halal or non-halal. So move to the next, which is this is the guideline on food drink goods and utilized by Muslim. This is from JAKIM since 1984, which is the term of halal, which is that they use in that time, which is ditanggung halal or makanan orang Islam. And this guideline is under section 3 on the trade description, which is in the use of expression halal, order 1975. And then we move to the next, which is general guideline on the slaughtering of animal and preparation and handling of halal food. Actually, this guideline is issued by JAKIM also for the slaughtering of animal and preparation and storage of the halal food. So the last one that I state here is Food Hygiene Regulation 2009. It is provide an infrastructure to control the hygiene and safety food sold in the country to protect public health. So all of this regulation and law is applicable to for the people or company who want to serve halal product or service to the Muslim, so they can apply it and they can see the guideline that is prepared by JAKIM, so they can follow all the guideline to achieve the halal logo from JAKIM. So this is all that I explained, so I pass to the next presenter, and thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Huda Mardia binti Kamal Zaman, and I'll be explaining on the examples that have been practiced in the Shariah compliant hotel. So a Shariah compliant hotel is not only limited to serving halal food and drinks, but also the whole operation throughout the hotel will also be managed based on Shariah principles. And so the defining characteristics such as halal food and non-alcohol are the straightforward ones. But other things that need to be considered in order to be a Shariah compliant hotels are also matters of the overall operation, such as financing, gender segregation, interior design, and such. So Malaysia has introduced the Muslim Friendly Hotel Recognition Initiative, a form of accreditation which recognizes Shariah compliant accommodation for tourists. So the accreditation implemented by the Islamic Tourist Center (ITC) is the first of its kind in the world to be issued by a government agency. So the accreditation is developed with Sirim Berhad, where 12 hotels have already received Muslim-friendly hotel recognition. So there are 3 levels of accreditation, which are platinum, gold, and silver, based on the level of compliance to the standard that have been set. So among the criteria to fulfill the standards include proximity to the mosque or Islamic attractions, in-room prayer facilities such as praying mats, qiblat direction signs, all halal certified restaurants, and also segregated gyms and swimming pools for women. And so the example of a Shariah compliant hotel in Malaysia that we have chosen for our report is Di Palma Hotel, which is a 3-star hotel in Ampang district that offers Shariah compliant hospitality provided for Muslim travelers in Kuala Lumpur. So it is the only hotel in the country which conducts Friday prayers in its praying room and employs resident imams to lead the prayers. And also in the lobby, the call for prayer or azan can be heard 5 times a day. So, and the most notable features for this hotel is the Islamic floor dedicated to Muslim, where Quranic verses are played through speakers in the hall all day long. And the Quran and prayer garments for men and women are provided in the hotel rooms. Also in the hotel rooms, there is also an ablution tap in the bathrooms. So to summarize, some of its Muslim-friendly facilities include a special Islamic floor, in-house Friday prayers, prayer rooms, Quran, prayer garments, call to prayer in the lobby, and also ablution tap in the bathroom. And also the specialty of Di Palma Hotel is that it has a Salam Standard Gold certification, where Salam Standard is a global verification system which offers Muslim guests a guide to hotels about their Muslim-friendly facilities and services. And gold is the highest level of certification. So that is why Dipalma is unique and special. Thank you.
The recent issues in Malaysia for Malaysia as a hub for halal industries and halal tourism. So the first recent issues is it is reported in the Star edition 28 January and 2019. It is reported that Datuk Wan Latif Wan Musa, Chief Executive Officer of Matrade Malaysia External Trade Development Corporation, said that Malaysia are aiming to be a world halal hub by 2021. This has been said because there are currently 1,600 local companies that exporting products with halal certificates all around the globe, and it is also supported by the government by providing facilities for expansions in order to reach the target set. So the government are already been helping this company for them to export their products with halal certificate so that Malaysia can be a world halal hub by 2021. So the next recent issues is been reported by Malay Mail edition 23 April of 2020. So it is reported that the Tourism, Arts and Culture Minister Datuk Seri Nancy Shukri stated that Islamic Tourism Centre (ITC) would continue to implement various initiatives in exploring opportunities in Islamic market segment. Also, the minister has target to establish Malaysia as the top destination for Islamic tourism post COVID-19. So after COVID-19, Datuk Seri Nancy Shukri really believe that Malaysia would be the top destination for Islamic tourism, as Islamic tourism having a potential to generate higher income and providing more to the Malaysia tourism industry. So this is the comparative study of tourism and halal industry in Japan. So the first one is Islam market in Japan. Statistic from GNTO, Japan National Tourism Organization, reported that about 400,000 of Muslim tourists from Malaysia and Indonesia alone has entered Japan for tourism purposes. So Japan are required to serve halal foods following Islamic guideline, as the number of the Muslim tourists rise from year to year. And the second one is bringing halal to Japan. Considering the rising of Islam population in Japan, Japan need to do whatever it takes to make the tourists comfortable. It can be by providing halal foods and places to pray and comfortable place for Muslim people to hang around. So that's it for the comparative study.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Noshaili and I will explain on the recommendations to improve halal industry in the Malaysia. So for the first one is on management. The responsible bodies like JAKIM and HDC should play their role to monitor and enforce the halal industry at international level. For example, in terms of halal certification bodies that are accredited abroad, JAKIM will collaborate with Ministry of Health and Department of Fisheries to ensure the suitability of the agency to issue halal certificates adopted in Malaysia. In terms of enforcement of local halal certification, JAKIM officials are largely supported by KPD and KK, MOH and local authority such as DBKL and state and regional municipal councils. The next point is research. With the realization that research is important for the development of the halal industry, both JAKIM and HDC collaborate with several research centers and institutions of IPT in Malaysia to complete various types of research study related to the halal industry. This will lead to the establishment of several research institutions related to the halal field, such as the Halal Product Research Institute, IPPH UPM, Halal Research and Management Institute, IHRAM USIM, and the International Halal Institute of Research and Training in HART UIA. The important role of research in this industry is undeniable. In addition to the findings of the research conducted, research centers such as IPPH also help to provide support services to JAKIM by lending laboratories and equipments. For the third one is education and awareness effort. So, education and awareness effort will improve the knowledge and understanding on the concept of halalan thayyiban and halal certification. For example, through educational program in schools, halal exhibitions, mass media campaign, and social activities. So the last point is the development of labor force and expertise. The development of halal industry is rapidly increasing, and the needs for manpower in various aspects related to the halal in order to support the demand in the industry, including conducting public relation activities and marketing, promoting and developing the ability of halal advisor or consultants, halal slaughter supervisor, and halal executive in the organization. Halal executive in the organization is highly demanded.
So I'll be continuing on the Islamic perspective using Maqasid Syariah. Maqasid Syariah helps to validate the different standards and rulings derived from the Quran and the Sunnah. So based on the Maqasid Syariah perspective, the main objective is to promote the well-being of the people, which lies in the safeguarding or the preservation of their religion, their lives, their intellect, their lineage, and also their wealth. So identifying each and every of these characteristics is needed to manifest Islamic principles in the hotel sector. So the first one is the preservation of religion, where to ensure this, rulings related to the obligation of learning and conveying religion were legislated. So it is an obligation for any services under the Sharia compliance to have characteristics which do not lead to commit of sin or immorality to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So to be in line with this, a Sharia compliant hotel should have religious facilities or tangible attributes such as worship facilities like prayer rooms, or at least provide the Qiblat direction in the customer's room. So also matters of religious obligations such as halal food services and others is also under the preservation of religion. And so the second one is the preservation of life, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala legislated for healthy eating and living and forbade the taking of one's life, and he has laid down punishment if someone do so. So therefore, the development of Islamic tourism characteristics should emphasize the safety for every tourist by offering a safe trip, including transportation and accommodation. Hence, providing the takaful protection for Muslim tourists is a form of preservation of life in strengthening the development of Islamic tourism. So the third objective under the Maqasid Syariah principle is the preservation of intellect, where Allah SWT has permitted that sound intellect and knowledge be promoted and forbidden that which corrupts or weaken it, such as alcohol and drugs. So hence, the Sharia compliant hotel should also have restrictions where only non-alcohol are to be served or consumed on the premises to preserve the well-being of their lives and intellect. So the next one is the protection of lineage, where in this instance, marriage was legislated for the preservation of the lineage, and sex outside of marriage was forbidden. So laws were put in place in order to ensure preservation of lineage and the continuation of human life. So usually such immoral acts start with the exposure to temptation, and the more liberal and the more normal it gets, the more brave people are to do it. So therefore, providing separate recreational facilities for men and women, also providing swimming pool for women only and such, are efforts to preserve a good lineage and at the same time protect them from harm. And the last objective under the Maqasid Syariah is the protection of wealth, where Allah SWT has made it obligatory to support oneself and those that one is responsible for, and placed laws to regulate the commerce and transactions between people in order to ensure fair dealing, economic justice, and to prevent oppression or dispute. So hence this is why any services under the Islamic tourism such as Sharia compliant hotels should always conduct Islamic finance to ensure that nobody is oppressed. And also they could also donate a small portion of the business profit to the needy because this could encourage the presence of blessings in their businesses. That is all from me. Thank you.
So we are moving to the conclusion. Malaysia is the leading global halal hub with an annual export value of RM35.4 billion for halal products, which contribute approximately 5.1% of the total exports for the country. Thus, it will help Malaysia to expand the market and strengthen its position as the top global halal industry. So that's all from our group. Thank you for watching and Assalamualaikum.